Beep. Test. Are you not going to give me the Wayne's World countdown?
Okay. 5, 4, 3.
Nolan comes up to me and he goes,
Nolan Todd? What the fuck is this? What Nolan?
Fabricius.
Nolan Rodriguez?
I work my way over to Nolan Fabricius. I hope I said that correctly.
Nolan's living in the Shire.
So many different
Nolan
ways.
Rodriguez.
Derived from the
Still
Jew.
respectful.
It's absolutely Fabricus.
Hello, welcome to Absolute Fabricus for September. Yeah, there's 8 people. None of them want to clap. It's fine. There's, we're not Chris Gethard over here. It's September 5th today, and it's Thursday again, so no good podcast came out today. We got a good show with a high caliber guest. I'm a little shook up about it. Keller, fact checker Keller's here. Did I step on you doing the thing?
No,
the call
I forgot to do it.
Okay, we'll do it. We'll get it.
Nolan's here.
Okay, let's start the show.
You're doing good. Don't worry about it.
Okay, Keller, any new business?
That's a you question.
No, you can bring business. This is your time.
Oh, I
This is
get
your-
I
yeah.
get to bring business to the
Yeah,
table.
yeah, yeah.
You gotta let me know I get this now.
Just anything pop at the top of your dome. Hurricane Dorian,
Fucked up shit, right?
Houston, Texas,
Houston,
Alabama.
Is it affecting Texas? I don't think so.
Yeah, it's
no,
affecting
it's not.
everywhere that's not
Well,
touching the
according
Pacific
to
Ocean.
Donald Trump, it's infecting everywhere.
All right, well that concludes Hurricane
We
Talk.
did it.
We got a really
Just lost all the meteorologists.
1 second. I gotta pull up the playlist. I quit the software. Jake, how you on levels? Okay, just get ready because no,
What?
missed a cue. Missed a cue.
You're doing good.
Jake, get ready on levels because you got it. We need a harder sting than that. Ready? Just open with 15, 16, 3/4 of the way up because dang it. Jake, we got to get better at the sound board because everyone, welcome Joe Quazala to Absolute Fabricus.
Good job, Gunner. Right on.
Really sorry for messing up that. We talked about how good the sound spike is there when it drops.
Am I supposed to be doing this?
Oh, you can move it wherever's
Okay.
comfortable. I gave you the heavier stand, so it should
Okay. All right.
it should work on the arm of the couch.
Like that's what our guests normally do, but you can grab it if you
Okay.
want to.
Was the dog trained to come take my seat before?
he knows when a male is about to do a high status move, and he will
Okay,
swoop
he'll preempt.
under. Yeah,
Mhm.
he'll one up you. every
I
time.
watched this very dog at a bar the other day.
Oh, at Waltz.
At
You
Waltz.
guys, yeah, I did detective work. I found out you guys were at Waltz.
I was at Waltz with some friends, and I watched this dog nearly get fucked in the face by another dog.
Was he
That's
into
happened
it?
on this show.
No, it sucked. This dog. What's this dog's name?
Gunner.
Gunner, like a dog was actively trying to fuck Gunner, and the owners were just like, ha ha ha.
Was
And
Gunner?
I felt like I had to intervene.
I mean, I could imagine Gunner hating it or loving it. If there's a chance he was super into it.
No,
He
it
wasn't.
It was
Then
assault.
that's fucked up.
and
That's super fucked up.
You are, I think, victim blaming.
No,
It is-
hey, no, hey! I would
I
never.
think is-
You know, we've got
Well,
victim
canceled.
blamey.
We've got victims here.
We've got some victims to blame. I got Dave Chappelle's thing on here.
How am I doing with the stand? Am I supposed to be putting it on my leg like this?
There's no rules.
All right,
you
I'm
can
just
put it
saying.
where it's comfortable.
I just feel like.
and
this
if you
is-
really want, we can take it out of the stand. It does take some doing.
Oh
though.
no, don't worry about it.
We can get like a buffet table that you.
I would,
if one of those.
preferably, I would like someone strong to just hold it here.
You want a Joe Rogan gooseneck?
I want to approach it like a gerbil drinking water.
Yeah. I want a UFC commentator in here telling us how shit really works.
Yeah, about the powers and benefits of hallucinogenic drugs.
No, he's a good guy.
We love him here.
but-
Absolutely Fabricus.
Great heart loves.
Did
the
you
Lord.
know how to say it? You're another.
Absolutely Fabricus.
You're another problematic last name guy.
I know. I try to be sensitive to it. Do you sometimes want to get rid of the second eye?
No, I think my personality is like, fuck it, the world can change. That's why I started the show, was to
To get the pronunciation out there?
Yeah, I want to be the high status iteration of that last name. So then
Wait.
my version
Okay.
of it is the
Definitive.
pronunciation of it.
Are there others out there who pronounce it Fabricius?
Yeah, at the Mexico City airport in the PA,
Okay,
they
what?
said, Senor Fabricius. And I was like, ooh, that oos is,
Yeah.
we're not
That's
Well,
the
'cause
utilizing that well
show.
enough.
That's the show.
That's
Fabricius.
Absolutely.
This is Fabricius.
Oos. What's up?
I said this is Fabricius.
What's the?
Ooh.
You
I
said
get
that's the
I
show.
get Fabricius. I get
the
Fabricius.
Well, that I is really an issue.
I know it's really Roman,
Well, because you want to do something with it,
but it's not.
but
it
you're
has
not
no-
supposed to.
has
I have
no role.
the C in my last name is that way. You want to involve it, but
Yeah.
you just stay away.
because it's a hard. It's a hard.
I know it's this. The letter C can do so much.
If you can end a syllable on a hard.
Yeah,
feels
it's
good.
satisfying. You
It
you
feels
you feel
good.
alive and powerful.
Well, if you had to start your own internet talk show to teach the world how to pronounce your last name, what would you call it? Like, Tada Quazala, or you see what I'm saying?
that would probably be it.
Just like playing the same iterative
Wow,
game.
Just a one shot.
One shot, he nailed
Tada
it.
Quazala.
Tada Quazala.
Abra Quazala.
Getting worse.
I like the.
Oh,
the
come
other one's
on.
Better.
What would no? I'm
Don't
trying to
lean
think.
into the magic.
No, yeah, you nailed it immediately, and then you ruined it. Yeah, I think what you said. Tada, Quazala Land.
That's
Ooh,
great.
there it
That's
is.
great.
That could
That's
work.
great.
Yeah,
Let's write that down.
yeah.
Taking show notes.
I think the world is ready for another La La Land parody. I think that's what people want.
In the form of a weekly talk show.
And the premise should be the last name of a guy you've never heard of. I think the internet's ready.
Keller's is super easy. It's Knobloch.
Knobloch, but
It's-
silent up top.
Yeah,
Is it
but
K? Silent K?
Yeah.
but
so
you
it's,
know,
but it's two words we know.
Yeah, exactly.
and lock.
But nobody
there's
ever
no
gets
traps.
that.
There's no traps.
Yeah.
Silent K is it's
Especially
known.
up top, no one's gonna say Knob block.
Yeah, no one's gonna say. People are
You'd
just
be
gonna say
so
Knobloch up
surprised.
top.
Yeah, it's cool and we love it.
There's no roadblocks in Knobloch. You're just gonna
Guys.
say Knobloch up top.
Ooh, he's doing a Seinfeld bit.
Is that what
Oh,
it
no.
is?
There's no roadblocks
Oh,
in
I
the
knew-
knob
yeah,
block
yeah.
with the tops and the
You're
you're
just gonna say
drinking your
Knobloch up top.
shock top.
That Seinfeld bit ruined my life.
Yeah, man, just stay away from that dude.
I have
He'll
to.
fucking eviscerate you.
All right. Well, there goes last names. I've got
I've got nothing else
a
on this
bunch of
list.
stuff.
I
we
really
got-
thought this would take over.
Okay, so I saw a tweet today. A friend of mine,
Do you hear about this? You hear about this tweet?
A friend of mine's in Pittsburgh.
That's
Friend
what he'd
of
be
mine's
doing.
in Pittsburgh, and he tweeted, "What do I get at Wawa?"
Oh, that Wawa is not Pittsburgh. He must have been in Philly. He must have
Oh.
been in Philly.
Philly, maybe
Yeah,
it was
read a
Philly.
book.
Or
Are you from
Yeah,
Pittsburgh?
I am from Pittsburgh. So I could tell there's no Wawa in Pittsburgh. There's a place called Sheets though, which is the Wawa, I guess, of Pittsburgh.
Yeah. Well, what
You know.
what would you just pretend there's Wawa in Pittsburgh and you're from there, and then what
This-
would you
this
tell
pre-
this
this
person? What
premise
would you
is-
get at Wawa?
Well, the whole point of asking what you get at Wawa is to survey people who've been there, so they can provide some expertise as to what the
You haven't been
the
there.
signature food. I've never been inside a Wawa.
Oh my God!
sorry.
You said they were in Philly so confidently. I was like, well, this guy gets
Well,
it. He
I just know
knows-
that people confuse Pittsburgh and Philly pretty easily.
Is that what I?
I
yeah,
think that's
okay.
what you did.
It's
Yeah, no, it's
close
okay.
enough.
No, it's all right, man.
No,
Hey,
feels bad.
chin
How
out.
sheets.
There goes Wawa.
Hmm?
All right, what do you?
Sheets.
What
Go
is
to
he getting at Sheets?
Oh, you get
What's
you get a schmuffin.
Is that real?
You get a schmuffin at Sheets, yeah.
That was worth it.
I'm writing
I think
Quazala
so.
Land.
Schmuffin, yeah. This is gonna go into a word art
It is.
later, like a word cloud.
Like all the dialogue from here, we
Hashtag
use a computer
schmuffin.
program to type it out in a line, but it makes your face. With the
How
boldness
many
of
people
the
are tuning in right now?
letter. 4.
We got
Four.
four.
It's
Pretty
not
good.
bad.
Can I
Pretty
get
good.
can I get names?
You can't
No.
dox people on here.
No, because that's against your moral code, or we just don't have them.
We can only get.
I mean they have to
addresses.
volunteer them, and the history shown they're not.
Is there a chat
freewheeling
room
with that?
aspect to
Yeah.
the stream?
Has anyone said their name in it?
Has anyone said anything? I would love it if the people watching would let it be known who they are and where they live.
Yeah, do us a solid and reveal
And how you
yourself.
actually pronounce their last names.
Yeah, and to get phonetic pronunciations of their last name if they dare to go that far. But I understand anonymity on the internet is precious.
We're burning through these bullet points real fast because
Hey,
I was wrong in my
slow
presumptions
down.
about a lot of
Yeah, I don't think it's all we've met before.
Yeah.
It's almost like we
What
haven't.
was
We-
your Wawa chunk?
yeah, that you really thought Wawa was going to be.
Everyone loves
substantial.
Wawa. It keeps coming up. I think they're about to go national. Everyone's talking about Wawa all the time. You guys haven't been hearing about it in your
Sorry, man.
feeds.
Kwazawa. Come on, I'm trying to bridge things here. You got to give me some credit.
Okay. I don't. Some of these topics are gonna like make sense because I know you, and I don't have to walk everyone through all of our history. You were one of the frequent performers at the Starburns Castle when that was a thing.
Frequent seems generous, but
No, we had
Sure.
we had big hopes for you. We had your career.
yeah, maybe
mapped out.
maybe I was gonna be frequent, but then you guys didn't have what was it?
Public assembly permits.
I was gonna say the legal ability to be there.
Potato, potato. Potato,
Wasn't that-
Quazala.
Yeah, wasn't it
Write it down.
I got it. He's got to green light it.
No, yeah, I say full steam ahead. whatever it is that was said.
Sorry for jumping over you.
Yeah, but it felt like it was a very illegal operation.
Did it? Wait. What's your actual memory of the time?
I just remember, like, my friend Catherine's here. She's my neighbor, and she's friends with you as well. We love Catherine. Give it up for Catherine.
She got more of a hand than I did.
I just remember, like, vague memories of talking to Catherine, being like, What are you doing tonight? And you'd be like, oh, we have to move everything from Starburns because it's not allowed to be there. So we have to pretend it's not there.
We need to move to a
the
flex
firemen are
space
coming.
in Frogtown where the law doesn't exist
Yeah.
in between municipalities.
Yeah, we're not allowed to have people inside this building,
Yeah.
so we need to move a lot of stuff.
You know what's
very
funny?
quickly.
When we got to, we stayed up all night. We moved the whole television production to Frogtown, and then the guy at Frogtown's like, "Wow, you guys are really going crazy. What's going on?" And someone told him the story. He's like, "We had too many people in there. We weren't supposed to have them." And he's like, "How many people are coming tonight?" And we're like, exactly, probably 200, 250. He's like, "There cannot be more than 100 people in the room." So then that was when 200 people were lined up. So the
Oh,
day
no.
after I kicked 250 people out of the castle who were ticket
you
purchasers,
again had to deny people.
I had to do it again the next night to 150 people who were just waiting in line to get in.
My God, yeah.
And we
Well-
had to do that tonight to all of our fans.
I know
Out.
they're lined up.
We don't have permission.
Mm-mm.
Do homes have occupancies?
I
Is
think
that crazy?
there-
It's
no,
not
there-
like a
I
fireman
know.
can come in here and be like, "How many people you got in here?"
We're breaking
Right?
it in this garage, definitely.
I think it's dependent on what you're doing.
That's what I'm saying. But is there some rule where, like, if the garage door is open, they can come up? They can. Nobody can hear your
Yeah,
punchlines.
I'm gonna say no more than 1,000.
Yeah,
How many people can fit in a house?
They did say, the reason I ask is because they said, and this is in Burbank, where they're like, we've got a rule that says if you're broadcasting, the fire marshal gets
a cut.
prima nocta on your operation. Like they get to determine whether you need a fire safety officer on hand. Hey, what's the dog? Is he doing something? Is he?
He's licking his foot.
He's licking his
Oh,
foot.
okay. It's like he shouldn't be eating stuff on the floor.
He shouldn't be eating his foot.
So they decided that all internet streaming counts as broadcasting. So
What a win for internet
for
streaming.
all laws that apply to broadcasting television
Okay.
apply to streaming in internet streaming in Burbank. So like a kid streaming Overwatch could technically be shut down by the Burbank Fire
That
Marshal.
would be very funny.
Yeah.
I think that should happen. We
Let's
should make
write
that
it
happen.
down.
Someone go on Twitch, find some kid, and call the cops. Shut his ass
It's
down.
like, don't swat him,
Nah,
but
swat
it's
him.
kind of like swatting him.
Swat him. Just straight up, that's a great idea. Don't call the cops. Call.
Like, find a bad kid. We'll find a bad one. It's easy on
What
the
if
internet.
like these like
Oh my God! You go to Twitch, and then you'll find some kid saying the N-word.
Yeah, exactly.
the deal with
Gone.
the
Swatted.
Burbank fire marshal was that like the whole law exists so that television production has to cut the municipality of Burbank in on their profits. So
I'm bored.
wait, it gets good. It gets good.
No, 13-year-olds need to get swatted.
So
Yeah,
dude.
we were
let's
having
say-
fun talking about beating up 13-year-olds, and you were like, the municipal code.
If
All right.
PewDiePie lived in Burbank, he's
Oh,
making more
oof.
money than a
If
than
PewDiePie
a,
lived in Burbank,
than a television
my stars.
production. The Burbank fire marshal could kick his door in and be like, "Cut me in, or we're shutting you down."
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
I
just-
say we should push for that.
Okay.
It's called inclusion, Nolan.
Can we swap PewDiePie?
Let's swat PewDiePie. Hashtag swat PewDiePie.
Yikes!
I'm getting it out there. How many?
I like it.
How many streamers we got? We're still at 4.
Still at
Four
four.
strong at 4. Has any of them doxed themselves?
Yeah. Has anyone come public with their personal information?
Well,
All right.
Um,
I want to make it clear that I would like to see that, and I will give a personal gift to anyone who does so.
Okay, so
Who's brave enough?
I crossed off Pittsburgh, but I also have Chicago listed here.
No, that's accurate. I lived in Chicago.
You
for a
spent
time.
some time in Chicago.
I
What
sure
years were you in Chicago?
2008 to 2013.
That's not that long.
that's a
5
chunk
years.
of time.
Was that college?
It was post college.
Post college. That
Yeah.
was your first post college town.
Yes,
Where'd you go to college?
Notre Dame. This
Is that in Pittsburgh?
It's in Indiana. It's in South Bend, Indiana,
Oh,
where Mayor Pete.
that's Mayor Pete.
Yeah.
Which
Pete-
leads me to my next
Yes.
topic. From
Why?
Chicago.
Why won't I denounce Mayor Pete?
Why won't you, Joe?
I know it's a tricky situation that I'm not ready to get into at this time.
What were your spots in Chicago?
What do you mean?
Venues,
Like
hangs,
places? Okay, my favorite.
tacos.
My favorite bar was a place called Old Town Ale House, and it stayed open until 5 a.m. on Saturdays, which is a very Chicago thing. 4 a.m., 5 a.m. bars.
When I
very
was in a
drunken
band, we
city.
played at a bar called Late Bar because they
Late
were open late.
Bar.
That was
That's-
why they
yeah.
were called that.
They cut to the chase,
Yeah.
I suppose. And I used to perform at a place called Shuba's a lot, which was also a music venue.
Mhm.
But they had a cool open mic upstairs, and then there were. I mean, like any city, when you're an up and coming comedian, you're performing in all these different places, bars,
Do you think-
little theaters.
Do you think that Chicago is like a formative, like, town for comedy was easier or harder than doing that same phase of your career in Los Angeles?
Oh, it's much easier because the bar is much lower.
Yeah,
So like you can be pretty bad and get stage time.
because there's a lot more per capita.
Well, no, there's just if you're good in Chicago, you leave. That's just kind of the deal. So there's more space, there's more opportunity.
Is that different? Is that different between the improvisers and the stand-ups? That a lot
Oh,
of the
they're-
improvisers you find out like love to stay in Chicago.
Yeah, that's a very separate world.
Yeah.
Yeah, but there are a lot of like sad old men who are like king of their little castle of improv. You know, coaching improv teams full of young girls. Not to say that a
The
ball,
Del
ball-
Close in it.
Yeah, honestly, I mean, a lot of them kind of model their personality or persona off of this, this guru Del Close, who was just like a drug addicted misogynist.
Yeah,
asshole.
he killed all the fat guys in the '90s, right?
Personally, he
Yeah,
strangled
no,
Chris
he
Farley
gave
to
all
death.
of them their drug addictions and heart conditions.
I mean, I would say on some level probably glorified that lifestyle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So fuck that guy.
Yeah, we hate Del Close.
we hate Del Close,
but
on
he's
record.
a genius. But
he's a
Del,
genius.
the way they were all. I took a few improv classes in Chicago, and there were always like people who would be teaching the class, and you'd be like, "You suck. Why are you teaching this?" And they'd be like, "Oh, well, Melissa knew Del," and everyone would be like, "Oh." It would be like understood.
Yikes!
It was Del,
And he died in 2000. You weren't even there till
2008.
2008.
Yeah, I miss
Wow.
Del. I thought about it quite a bit.
You missed Del Wave.
I think Del Close conversations are boring people.
Well, it's
That's the
online.
vibe I get in
I
the
mean,
room.
we could stream Battlefield if you think that would pick the energy up.
I'm trying to Google what Dell's short for.
Dellard.
Dellard, is that real? Delvin?
Delvin's good. Delissa.
It's Delamitri. It's
What me.
are they
Well,
are they
I don't think
do they-
I have ever seen a soul so in despair.
Are they eligible for the Rock
They
Hall?
got in the first year with Chuck
they
Berry.
got in the first year they were
With
eligible.
Chuck Berry, yeah, it was Chuck Berry, Delamitri, Fats Domino, and the
One hit wonder
and
Delamitri.
yeah, so it was Veruca Salt,
I
Chuck
guess we're
Berry,
here.
Fats Domino, Delamitri, the Gin Blossoms, and Elvis. First year.
Elvis.
Yeah, Elvis.
Delamitri's in Elvis's class.
Well, Elvis performed with Delamitri. So
Is this a bit? What?
So, first class, the godfathers of rock and roll. Little Richard, Delamitri, Dexy's Midnight Runners, Elvis Presley, Atari's, Fats Domino,
I
Sam
get it.
Cooke, and the last one was Avenged Sevenfold. Those are the founding fathers
First
of
class,
rock and
the
roll.
pantheon.
Yeah.
Checks out.
What is the guy I know? No. There's a guy in the neighborhood in Census Fail, not Avenged Seven. I mean, Avenged Sevenfold probably live in the neighborhood.
I hope so. Avenged Sevenfold, if you're out there, blow us up.
Yeah, reveal yourself in the chat.
Oh, that's Andrew. Yeah, I had a. You know what? Do you have forensics where you were?
It was like speech and debate, right?
Yeah.
I
It
did
was
not.
like
I did not do
competitive
it.
theater.
Yeah.
things.
Explain that.
But they had a.
Oh,
why
so
it's
the-
called forensics?
I have no idea
Yeah.
why it's called
I don't
forensics
know,
because
but
you'd think that'd be like CSI, right?
Before
you
CSI
debating
was a
about
thing,
CSI
forensics
episodes?
meant competitive theater.
Well, yeah, it was
to
like
me.
speech and debate. You could do like monologues and stuff.
Yeah, there's like prose, monologue,
on it.
paired.
Dell
one-
isn't
it's one of
short
those-
for anything.
One of those names that like you're dealing with kids. Name it something else. Like no one's gonna be like, oh yes, forensics.
Well, now it just
Like,
was
I remember-
the only use of that term in the culture. There wasn't true crime yet.
Right.
Like no one knew that word meant anything else. Back
but
then.
call it
That's
speech.
how old
Call
I
it
am.
speech and debate. It's boring or it's just confusing.
No, because speech
No?
and debate
Alright.
is for nerds, and we were doing improvised duet acting, which you know from being a Del Close kid is very different, very edgy, very fun, and I was
Yeah.
really bad at it. If you can
No.
believe that, but my partner was good. We won a few.
And he's
Tournaments.
logged on.
He's there. He's
Damn.
out there.
What's his name?
I know he doesn't want it out there.
All right.
You
all
already
right.
I know
said
him
it.
that well.
I could
What?
repeat it.
What?
Hey, Andrew.
We all
He
know.
said so.
You said it.
You said it.
I said what?
We
You
could
said
rewind
Andrew.
it. You
That's
said
someone
Andrew.
else.
It's on the tape. Roll back the tape.
Roll it back.
Sorry,
Roll it
Andrew.
back.
Sorry,
That's
Andrew.
on
They're
me,
not playing.
And that was Prince Andrew?
That's Prince Andrew.
We'll
and a
find
can.
him.
Yeah. Your crew in high school, it was you, Prince Andrew, and Jeffrey Epstein, right?
They
That
need
was
a
the crew?
pilot.
That was the squad. Oh, God. Oh, my God. Nolan was piloting the Lolita Express.
Do you wanna
Get on the Lolita Express?
get on
No,
the
no.
on my plane? The 30 for 31. How much exposition do you want to get into about what that was and is?
It was...
Are you still 31?
No,
Oh,
I'm not. And it was also 31 for 31.
31 for 31. That's what I said, right?
Nah, you said 30.
Oh, sorry.
It's okay. I just felt like we're establishing a pattern where we tell you what you've said,
Yeah.
which seems fun. So I wanted to keep that going.
My brain is Swiss cheese. It doesn't. There's no memory of it.
No, it's
Hey,
alright.
Keller, Google that. Is it 30 for 31?
Yeah, Keller, Google
you
my
fact
own
check that?
projects if you could.
Okay, I'm gonna do. Okay, I gotta do. We got a cue. Forensic. It's a scientific test or technique used in connection with the detection of crime. So I don't know what the fuck you guys did. In
Type
high school.
high school
Uh,
forensic.
I typed in forensic in high school, and we are still waiting on the internet.
Ooh, yikes.
I
Yeah.
know, right?
But it was called forensics in Pittsburgh too.
Yeah, I recall.
Did you do it?
No, I did not.
No. That's why you're front of house and I'm back of house today.
What?
That's why you're a performer and I'm a
Yes,
internet
of course.
streamer.
Sorry. I was like, front of house. We're in your garage. I
This
don't
is the
get
front
it.
of the house.
The back of houses.
What's the square footage of this house? You're trying. I'm trying to get you the occupancy.
I don't
You
know.
We
I'm
can't.
sorry. 2,000 square feet.
It just
okay. Divide that by
it's like
5.
a
and
split level thing.
apparently
My
that's
brain
it.
started to do the math and couldn't because of the split levelness. You just galaxy brained me.
It's one person per 5 square feet. Is that what you were implying?
It said divided by 5. Yeah.
Okay.
So what is that?
It said
400
that's how
people?
it can be comfortable.
Yeah.
But is that the law?
No.
Okay. Well, then I'm not
It's
listening to
comfortability.
it.
I don't think there's really laws when it comes to your home.
Okay, what was 31 for
Ooh,
31?
That's crazy. I released 31 original videos in one day.
Where could people go to watch those?
They can go to joequazala.com, or they could.
It's got a C in it.
It sure does. You can go to Twitter, Joe K, and I link to it on my pinned tweet.
How old are you now?
32. Is this going to be a problem?
Yeah, I mean, I just filled out the forms wrong.
Yeah,
I bet they'll
right.
let me resubmit them tomorrow.
It really felt
I had to give YouTube all of your information
Oh, this
to
sucks.
get you on here.
No, I was watching you really struggle. I had a birthday. That's what happened.
Yeah. How long have you been 32? And how long until you're
happy
33?
birthday.
I turned 32 in May, and then I will turn 33 the next May.
Are you worried about that?
Oh yeah.
Do you have grays showing up?
Mm-hmm.
How's your back?
My back's fine. I do have grays that show up, but not enough where I can't just pluck them and then forget about it.
You do pluck them? You're
Yeah.
public face. You probably have to plug them.
Oh yeah, you got pluck. You got pluck.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm pro pluck,
PP.
and sometimes in the beard too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you notice any of your hair turning redder?
No, I think you're sick.
Mine will turn red before it goes gray. It goes red on the way to gray.
Oh man.
blood.
Yeah, that's I think yeah.
It's bud.
This
no,
this
that's
thing happens
blood.
when I put a knife to my skin and then my skin turns red. Do you know what that?
And
like water.
The gray hair comes out.
Yeah. Well, anyway, that sounds troubling, and I think you should see a doctor. But if there's no
I'm an
pain,
internet
I don't
streamer.
know.
I have no health insurance.
Next week
Yeah.
we're gonna see what the red hairs are about.
Hey, how do you pay out of pocket for health insurance? Do you do anything for health insurance?
Me?
How does a public figure handle that problem?
What?
It's like,
I have insurance from.
Are you in a
Constituents
guild?
Pay for it.
I'm not in a guild. No.
are you in a union?
I'm not. I have Medi-Cal.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think that has to be how we do it, right? We're freelancers. No one's going to hand us this
I
stuff.
feel like you're including me into your own situation, and
Yeah.
I don't feel comfortable anymore. Yeah, that's how we do it, right?
Look
You and me are
around a
in this
room.
together.
I look around a room of prisoners, like, how does that person get their health insurance? He's like me, right?
No,
You're
I
like
understand.
me. You have a 9 to 5. You got health insurance.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
And then if you don't do Medi-Cal, you do Covered California.
I thought they were the same thing. I went to Cover
Well,
California, and I think it sent me to Medi-Cal.
Yeah, because you're poor.
Yeah. Yes.
As
yes,
am as am I.
yes.
Yeah, so that's what happened. Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's off the list.
Thank God.
We got.
We can
Health
finally cross
insurance?
insurance off the list.
You know more about the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame than anyone
Yes.
I've ever met.
Yeah, you could have ended that sentence 3 words earlier. I probably know more than anyone.
Really? Than
Oh.
anyone. Period.
Well, just
You're
because
getting pretty cocky over this. Thing.
I don't wear it as a badge of pride. It is my great shame. But
But
it
the
is-
people you're having on are like the heads of the institution, right? Like they don't know
No.
anyone who.
I mean, not really. I mean, we certainly have had people who've been involved in the foundation,
yeah.
but usually it's the people that are willing to talk are the ones that aren't involved anymore.
But it's real cloak and dagger, right? Where they're
Yeah,
like,
I mean, the nominating committee, they're
not gonna let Bon Jovi in ever. And
they let
that's-
him in 2 years ago.
Oh,
That
that was a thing, right?
Well, yeah, so that's the thing. That's the other thing about like these conspiracy theories of like, oh yeah, Jan Wenner doesn't want Kiss to get in, but Kiss is in, and they said the same thing about Bon Jovi, and Bon Jovi's in. So it's I don't think it's as
It's not that bad.
elitist as the people who push the elitist agenda are the bands that aren't in. So they have to come up with some sort of conspiracy theory as to why they're not in. It can't just be that they're not that great.
Let me ask you let's zoom out.
Yeah, let's big
Think about
picture
this
it.
question. Big picture. They
Yeah.
got this requirement to get in, right? Every year, a new group of people qualify because there's a 25-year qualification
exactly. Yes,
period.
correct.
Now, do you think that music has changed so much more between 65 and 90 than it has from 90 to 2015, that interval should maybe be longer now because culture has stopped moving forward.
No. I think the whole point of waiting 25 years is so that you can accurately evaluate a group's legacy.
But
But what about what I said?
yeah, but I said a thing that was different than that.
No, I mean, I just don't buy into that because I think you think it should be longer now because we're not changing as rapidly.
Because the sounds have tapered off. Everything sounds like Imagine Dragons now, and there's no.
I don't think that's true.
The ground is being covered.
I don't think I agree with that. I think because I don't think you're acknowledging other genres. I don't think you're acknowledging like hip hop and stuff.
Yeah, right. So like if you go to Kansas City, you'll hear bands that aren't from Kansas City but qualify as alternative music that aren't played in other markets. Like everything is so fragmented that the qualifying, you know what I'm saying? Like,
What insurance do you have?
I think I kind of get what you're saying, but I don't see how that necessarily applies to
that everyone could
eligibility.
say that Led Zeppelin should be in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Oh no, I get.
But the market will be so
that there it's harder,
super saturated moving
somewhat
forward.
I think I agree that it is harder for there to be consensus, kind of on anything in media now. Water cooler shows don't exist.
So I
the
guess
way they
the
used
pertinent
to.
question would be, how will that affect the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame 25 years from now?
I don't think it really will be because I think there's still groups.
You think
and artists
Imagine Dragons are
that
getting
cut
in?
through? No, but I think someone like Adele would. I think Vampire Weekend would. I think there's still solid artists who can break through. Like we still have famous people, you know.
Yeah, I guess that's true. Technically,
Yeah.
Cross it off the list.
you think Kings of Leon are getting in?
No, because I don't think they were able to stick around. You know,
they have
had
like 5 like gold albums. Like
a lot
they're around.
No, I guess what I mean is like their like imperial phase, like their time when they were like on top, just wasn't significant enough.
When they were kings. Do you
Hey, I get it.
do you have a take on Kings
Now
of
they are
Leon?
but Leon. I'm sorry.
Do you have a take on them when they jumped the shark or when they pivoted
my
wrong?
take on them is that they've always been like pretty good.
Yeah.
And that, you know, they had those very popular songs, which I don't besmirch them for having commercial hits. I thought those songs were fine.
Definitely sounded commercial though.
Yeah,
Definitely
for sure.
sounded
There was
as
a
though they
pivot.
intended to be commercial.
But I don't necessarily think that was sellout material.
I mean, I don't.
But they pivoted. And then there were some songs I've heard recently from them that I thought were pretty good, and it felt like a return to the
To their
basics.
loosey-goosey days.
To the other roots, I think so.
Um,
But I also don't follow them that closely.
similar trajectory, Muse.
Muse is so popular and big that I'm not sure.
So they did stay on top.
They did. I think the difference is like Muse could sell out a stadium. I don't think Kings of Leon could.
In is that true in Europe too? How much is European concerns
Oh.
factored into this?
Somewhat. I mean, it's an American institution, but kind of by default, not by any decree. It just tends to be
Yeah.
because of the people who are in charge.
Because England is an older culture and they have real culture.
Yeah, that's why.
Yeah, rock and roll is our foundational culture, but that's just because we're a teenage country.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, you get it. I knew you'd get it.
I fucking get it.
Which brings me to this Generation X concept. Do you watch your Chappelle
Yeah,
special?
What? No, I did not.
Oh, okay. Lucky guy. We
sorry.
can't talk about it now. We can't get you on record.
Nope.
I think Gen X is turning into baby boomers. And that's my take. No one has to yes and that, but I'm watching Gen X turn into like,
Complainers?
yeah, just like you should respect me for all I left you.
Yeah, no,
Kids.
that's I think that cycle continues with every generation.
Yeah, I guess that's what's scary. Define Gen X. It's like people at their peak in the 90s, at their
Yeah, for sure.
edgiest, and
Gen X, I would say, is like born in like the 60s and 70s.
Yeah, the first half of the 90s people. We started coming online in the back
Yeah,
half of the 90s.
the Nirvana generation.
Yeah.
The Gen X is an interesting idea because they were kind of defined by not caring about anything. They were defined by being too cool for stuff. And the generations that followed, I think, are more invested in the idea, not being like afraid of expressing joy.
Do you like the Replacements?
Jesus, yeah, I do.
So the replacements have a
Just
line.
felt so out of like.
It's not though.
like,
you gotta
was-
give me benefit of the doubt because
I-
I'll stitch it up. It's
I
gonna make
was-
sense.
I was talking, and I could just tell in your head you're like, let's go. I'm gonna ask him about the replacements. Maybe when he's done talking.
No.
I
See,
his-
now
I
it's gonna
see-
sound like that because we've diverted. But
I see his lips moving. When they're done, I'm gonna ask him about replacements. Just what? Okay, he's moving mouth, and it's gonna be done. Did you like the replacements?
it's too late to talk about what I was gonna talk about now. It tied into what we were talking about.
All right,
the replacement
fair.
sang about being Gen X and defining what Gen X was in real time. And they says,
they are a very Gen X band in that like they didn't care so hard that they torched their own career. They torpedoed their own potential.
yeah,
Yeah, they were so cautious.
Authentic.
Well, I mean authentic, but also I think they were pushing so hard against the idea of like, if I'm successful, then I'm not cool anymore. So I have to destroy every opportunity for me.
and like Pearl Jam did that after they got real big.
Yeah, which is convenient, right?
Yeah, right.
They become the
Dude.
biggest band in the world, then they're like, we don't want to do music videos anymore. It's about the art.
Did you hear that the story where Mudhoney's like, when you guys make videos, you're fucking sellouts, and then they just like don't make videos and won't let themselves write a catchy song for like 4 albums.
Right? Yeah, they were a populist band that refused to believe it. They wanted to be underground so bad.
Yeah.
But what they were an arena rock band.
Are they in? They
Yeah,
should be in.
they are.
They gotta be in. They're
They got
still-
in as soon as they were eligible.
Do you ever hear an interview with Patrick Warburton?
Now, I will not call out again the random nature of the questions, but no, I have not heard any interviews with Seinfeld's Putty.
Hey, he's got a lot of
Patrick
bigger
Warburton.
roles than Putty. He's been the Tick. He's a heavy hitter out here.
Give me one more thing.
Animated Buzz Lightyear.
He's in Lemony Snicket. He's the Don Draper of Lemony Snicket.
We're getting a lot of B-sides.
Everybody loves Patrick Warburton.
Okay, what's your point?
If you talk to Patrick Warburton, you're like, "What's your
Have you,
favorite
hold
band?"
on, wait,
guy?
slow down. Have you talked to Patrick
No,
Warburton?
no.
All right, I
And
just
now
wanna
you
just
have to do
make
your
that clear.
Patrick Warburton.
I can't. I mean, I have his like the condition where my eyes can't open enough to see the whites.
Which is a Patrick Warburton.
I share that
staple.
trait with him,
Yeah.
so I've always been a fan.
You
because-
Warburton, Mulaney.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so you talked to Patrick Warburton.
I talk to him,
and
we
he will
hang out
tell
all the
you.
time. He will tell you any time you sit down and you make eye contact with him, and you ask him to his face, "Who's your favorite band?" and say Pearl Jam, hands down. No one holds a candle to Pearl Jam in modern times.
And we do look to him for our
I do.
musical
I did.
Ideas and inspiration, right?
I mean,
he's kind of the voice of authority when it comes to media at large,
Yeah, pretty much.
wouldn't you
anything.
say?
yeah, obviously, I brought it up. Pearl Jam is such a weird artifact of its era.
Yes.
Like I think about the '90s a lot and how authenticity was like what everyone is like chasing, but then like you hear the interview with Green Day and they're like, everyone said that Time of Your Life wasn't punk rock, and I was like, is it not punk rock? Is it punk rock? I don't know. So then we figured, just fuck it. The most punk rock thing to do is not ask yourself if something's punk rock. Like the '90s started chasing its own tail. Everyone wanted
I'll
to be
agree
the
with that.
most authentic version of what they were.
that it ended up being the last thing that they were considering.
Until
Because-
Chris Gaines just blew the game up.
My man Garth Brooks showed up and said, "I'm not Garth Brooks.
But like
I'm a different guy.
the
Wait,
I'm
what?
Chris Gaines." Do you not know about this?
Yeah.
Oh, you do.
Chris Gaines comes up
It's the
once
name
an
of our cat.
episode. Chris Gaines is where culture either pivoted on. I think it pivoted on U2's pop and our rejection of it, or it pivoted on Garth Brooks as Chris Gaines. One of those two moments in the back half of the
You think that
'90s.
changed everything?
After that, you were like, "Oh, I guess Creed is good. Oh, I guess rap rock is on the table." Like
When did
things-
anyone ever say that?
when I was in
Space
high school, it was
Jam.
Oh, it was
98
you.
to
So you're
98
trying to get
02.
to the core of your transformation.
I
Where
felt
suddenly you were like, Creed is good?
I felt
'Cause I think
everything.
you might have been
no,
alone
but
in
the
that.
older kids, my freshman year of high school, would not have liked Creed, but they did my second year of high school. So like I felt it all change.
And
I
you were
felt-
attributing this to Chris Gaines' Garth Brooks alter ego.
or U2's pop.
Or the album Pop by U2.
Yeah,
Or
which is
Space
it's a
Jam.
difference of 2 years. It happened between '97 and '99.
Okay. other things that happened that could possibly have caused this turn.
Yeah.
In you and your friends.
Which you are acknowledging is real.
Well, I'm not acknowledging it as a worldwide phenomenon, but you detected
What if
something.
what if you
You
were
detected
forced-
something within your friend group, and I'm going to try to get you to the bottom of it. We have some ideas, but we can keep digging.
Wait, but let me clarify the issue. Do you have a take of when the 90s died? If there's a day the music died of the 90s.
Yeah, 9/11.
It died way before that.
No, I don't
It
think
was-
so.
The music of 2000 to 2001 didn't feel like the 90s. Like
Uh,
Woodstock 2
I was
or
told
Woodstock.
to never forget, and yet here we are forgetting, quite intentionally. Anyway, no, that's fine. You're right. 9/11 does not matter. When did the 90s really die? And you want to talk music specifically or culture?
If you
at
got
large?
a culture moment, if it's when Ross and Rachel went on a break, if it's something, you know, there you have to pick a pivot point.
Mm-hmm. For sure. Okay. Yes, when the 90s was no longer my thought though is honestly that the 90s bled a little bit into the 2000s
That's wild.
culturally.
So I'm 35, so you're
we've
three
been
years younger than me.
Yeah, right.
You felt a gradient as the first half of the 90s, the authentic half, dovetailed into Limp Bizkit and Kid Rock and Eminem. Like, you didn't feel a pivot between those two thirds of the 90s or whenever...
Well, I don't know.
the moment is what
I
we're
guess I
trying
don't know that was necessarily a decade shift. That was a shift, but I don't know if that was like I don't think like rap rock or like Creed ushered in a new decade. I think they were the tail end of something else.
Okay, so I guess we're just talking about different sides of the same
Yeah, and
borderline,
I
which
do-
would have been like 97, 98.
Yeah,
It's like, I think it was Fight Club, or I think it was Phantom Menace. It was like
it was
right
yeah,
in there.
It was the Iron Giant.
Titan AE, maybe.
Titan AE,
Here's
Iron
the
Giant.
thing. When they started making Titan AE, you could have a protagonist with a bowl cut, but by the time it came out, it was already lame. So that's the point.
Sometime during the production of Titan AE,
the 90s died.
The
I think it
90s
was the fall of
died.
Macaulay Culkin.
When did he fell for a
That was
long
the fall
time.
of the bowl cut.
When did he
That
when
was
did he
I was
turn?
way earlier. Richie Rich was like the last gasp of Macaulay Culkin, I think,
Yeah.
It's like 96.
which was like much earlier than that.
He's around. He seems like a put together guy.
I put together what? Have you
He's fine.
seen literally anything?
He's fine.
He's just
He's
like
a good guy. He's fine.
he's a walking meme.
He was in Michael Jackson's clutches for.
We don't know what happened. I think we shouldn't get into it.
All right, I'll cross that.
Would
off.
be my cross off Michael Jackson truther? Question mark.
We got a thing.
9/11, Michael Jackson.
So I've seen some. I've seen you spend a lot of time on children's YouTube.
What are you accusing me?
There, nothing. That's a bit in your in
no.
your live show.
Yeah,
right.
yes,
That's the
for
first
sure.
time I was made aware of that.
I
Could you-
am very fascinated by the world of independently made content for children on YouTube.
Yeah.
There's some wild shit out there.
Do you think you could turn a profit doing it?
Probably.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. It's just it feels like the market is so eager for literally anything that's just about like eating carrots, yum yum yum. That's not a video I've seen. That's just something I made
Yeah.
up right now, and I
we
think
own it.
I
We
think
own it. You
yeah.
signed the thing. We got
I
it.
think it would have hundreds of millions of views. I truly believe that.
Yeah. No,
But I have also noticed that a lot of those videos don't seem to be monetized in the way that you would expect YouTube videos. I don't know. Maybe they are, and I just haven't noticed it. And
They're
have to,
passion
like-
projects.
yeah.
you have to game the algorithm, right? Do you think you have a good enough idea how to do that?
No.
Or that's the
No, no,
that's the key, right? It's not the
No.
content. It's
I mean,
the,
you need to get it in front of the
you have to hit a
the
point,
faces,
and then
the
the
little
numbers will
little
start to
baby faces,
snowball,
yeah. And then all you have to do, I mean, you get it. You pick up the subscribers, and then next one is eating raisins,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
then you're off to the races.
Have you seen any like Nazi stuff or
oh boy,
sexually explicit stuff in the children's stuff?
No.
Because my niece and nephew,
No, I know.
my brother and sister-in-law would leave it on autoplay, and then
it goes down a weird hole for
it
sure.
goes down such a bizarre hole. There's a monkey that looks like Hitler with the floppy
hair
hair
yeah.
thing and the mustache saying no more monkeys jumping on the bed, but it's a cartoon Hitler
yeah.
saying it with more. The Hitler features are louder than the chimpanzee features, and
Yeah.
it's just
that's an issue.
it's. What
For
do we
sure.
do about it,
I
Joe?
know.
Looking
No.
into it.
Joe, how do we stop this?
No, I mean,
You're the guy.
I'm definitely the guy to solve this problem that's
You're
plaguing our
the-
nation's youth.
You're that guy from Chernobyl,
Dave,
Lazarov.
Jared
You're the
Harris?
Lazarov of this issue.
this is great. Yeah,
We need
Call me in.
we need to pivot into Chernobyl real quick. All right.
It's Chernobyl.
Chernobyl is wait. That was your episode.
Yes,
I
that
heard
was
that
mine,
one. That's
yeah.
a great podcast.
Yeah.
American Arts and Culture Review. That's Wit and Clay's thing. Chernobyl. Doesn't Keller look like that dude?
Oh, I have not seen Chernobyl.
Oh, you got
I'm
gotta
sorry.
see
I'm happy. Is
Chernobyl.
that the Jared Harris character?
Jared Harris.
I
Yes.
could see the glasses for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like distance eyes apart. It's jaw.
Relax.
It's
He texted
it's all
me this
there.
the other day.
Easy.
it's there.
Hey,
I
we're
said
get,
it's
we're
the-
getting close to like phrenology here. Yeah, pump the brakes.
All right. I'll cross off Chernobyl.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Children's YouTube done. Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Yikes. Quazala Land.
Quazala Land, yeah, no
I've
doubt.
got nothing. We hit all the bullet points.
I mean, we didn't really spend a lot of time on the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. You know, I can go forever with that.
I know. Yeah, it's not.
Are you a Pearl Jam fan? Like, would you?
Yeah. Well,
Like, do you know the members' names and stuff?
Yeah, well, they got a carousel, baby.
I mean, can you? All right, so what are the two guitar players? Can you name
Stone
them?
Gossard
Very good.
and Stone Gossard, Mike McCready.
Very good. Bass player?
Jeff Ahmet.
Yeah, Jeff Ament, I think, or Ament, whatever. Obviously,
Bunch
the
of drummers.
So can you name the drummers in order?
Matt Cameron.
So that's the most recent one, right? That's the current.
I
one,
don't
right?
know.
I'm telling you, it's the current drummer. Do you know what other band Matt Cameron played for?
Soundgarden.
Very good. And then can you name the first drummer or any drummers in between?
Flea. No, I don't know.
Yeah, Flea, famous drummer.
There.
I mean, the drummer, the original drummer from the Red Hot Chili Peppers, did play with
Chad Smith.
the original drummer. His name is Jack Irons, and he did play with Pearl Jam
With Pearl
for a little
Jam?
bit, for 2 albums before Cameron.
Which albums?
It's
Just
like
those 2000s
probably
albums.
like No Code or
Yeah.
Binaural or whatever those ones are called.
Binaural, the worst. That's when I got off. I loved Yield.
But
Any Yield heads? Any Yielders?
Yielders, and then
Yieldies?
the original drummer is a guy named Dave Cruson,
Mm-hmm.
but he played on 10, but then he left the band before it was even released.
That's the story of Oasis too. Tony McCarroll. They had
Yeah,
that
he
drummer the
played on
first album.
Definitely Maybe, and then they fired him.
Yeah, Noel played on half the album recordings because Tony McCarroll was so bad.
Yeah, they really were not thrilled with that dude. But then they got Alan White in there.
The best. That's Oasis Halcyon Days is their rhythm section band during the Alan White
Mm-hmm.
times.
Alan White, there is another Alan White drummer, drummed for the band, yes.
Yeah. My friend Paul's dad is named Alan White. There's a lot of Alan Whites. He's hard to Google.
I bet, yeah.
And he's sort of a shy guy, so he sort of wants to stay hid too.
Mm-hmm.
But
Well, that's great.
more than I want Noel and Liam to reconcile, I want Noel and Alan White to collaborate again.
Oh, sure.
That's my Oasis lineup.
Yeah, we got Gwigsy. Gwigsy on bass, and then you've got Bonehead
Bonehead.
on rhythm guitar.
What a colorful cast of characters
Yeah.
in that band.
And then there were two dudes who replaced Bonehead and Gwigsy, but that was
Jim
oh,
and
yeah,
what's the other guy's name? Jake. Do you know it? He's from the band Ride. It was Jim Archer and
Yeah, Jim
or
Archer and
Gem. Gem.
Demart. But at that point, it was like Oasis was done.
Yeah,
No
that's
one
when I
was
saw
really-
him.
Oh, for sure.
2005, the
Great.
worst. Don't believe the truth tour. But I saw him at Red Rocks. It was worth it for the trip.
Red
to
Rocks rules.
And I saw Jet and Kasabian at that same show. So it was a
Kasabian,
pretty
right?
Good, yeah, maybe.
for sure.
Kasabian.
Sabian.
Kasabian. Yeah.
Kasabian.
That was on the episode that we just recorded today. Was about Oasis. That's why I have all this Oasis knowledge at
yeah.
the ready. And Kasabian came up on that podcast as well.
I don't want to spoil because we haven't plugged it yet, but Joe does a podcast about the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Yes.
What was the walkaway
The walk
sentiment on? What did you walk away with in your head regarding Oasis? They're like shoo-ins.
Yeah, I mean, they become eligible this year, but I don't know if they're going to get in immediately.
But they will.
But they'll get in
They'll
eventually,
get in.
yeah.
They're
sure.
like,
They have to. But the problem is...
will they get in before Blur?
I don't know if Blur will ever get in.
Yes. Righteous.
I mean, just because it's an American thing, and Blur is so not embraced by American culture.
Yeah.
Even though Damon Albarn stuff kind of isn't.
I love your takes. I love your reads here.
Yeah. What was I... Huh? Yeah, Oasis...
You think Gorillaz will get in?
No.
Wouldn't it be funny if Gorillaz got in but Blur didn't?
I mean, that is more likely. I don't know. One of the few distinctions of what rock is, according to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, is that country is definitely not rock.
Whoa.
Yeah. Otherwise,
Wow.
it truly feels like everything is fair game, but country is pretty clearly on the outside.
That's awesome. Because you have your own awards. Fuck off. What are you going to
Yeah,
do?
there's already a Hall of Fame for country music, and also there's this idea that country music would exist if the idea of rock and roll hadn't happened. You know?
Yeah. Okay, so is Ween eligible for the Hall of Fame?
I think so, but they're not going to be considered.
Well, okay.
The fame
I
part
guess
is a big...
Yeah, but I guess that factors into the question I was getting at, which is, Ween was snubbed for their 12 Golden Country Greats album by the CMAs, and I make a big stink about it every time I see the CMAs as hashtagging.
Okay.
Because it's a great country album objectively, but Ween is so sarcastic and sort of over everything.
Ween really paved the way for Lil Nas X, is what you're saying.
No.
Because in terms of a not country artist wanting acceptance with the country world.
I don't think Ween gives a shit, but
you
as
give a
someone
shit.
who I had to grow up with CMT on.
So you
every
clearly give a
TV
shit. You
around
said
me.
every time the hashtag comes up.
I
get
do.
all
I
hot and
yes,
bothered.
I give a shit, but Ween doesn't
You
do
get all
it for the
no.
CMAs.
I believe that's correct.
So I got an argument because a friend was like, I don't like that album because it's making fun of country music. I was like, well, the Rolling Stones have that Faraway Eyes song, and that is definitely making fun of country music, but everyone is really endeared by
and
that.
also, do we really believe that Ween was making fun of country, or is it more homage? Is it...
You'll never know
with a
because it's
loving-
Ween.
Man, that's
That's-
the thing about Ween,
But
man.
it's also good.
You never know. Yeah, I know. Well,
That's true about whatever Ween does, right? There's push a little daisies and make it come up. Is
But
this
it's also good though. So
Yeah.
they had to have loved country music.
I bet they do. I bet they love actual
Old lap steel.
Yeah.
George Coe.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Or
it's
not George Coe.
it's exquisitely
Jones.
executed,
David
but
Allen Coe.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. George Coe was the old man that they.
He's the bad guy in the family.
It's the old man they put on the original cast of SNL because the network was like, we can't have all these young people.
you need
as
to
the
have
cast, so we need an old man to play the old man roles, and then he was gone pretty quickly.
you need a coach. You need Cheers as coach. You need that on SNL.
The best
Right.
person in
Yeah,
Cheers.
the best character.
Mhm.
And then, but even then, they were like, you got a young up coach, and so they got Woody. It's just he's just young coach.
Coach died.
Yeah, no, I know that. I was trying to not
Okay.
say it. But,
R.I.P.
Damn. No respect for Coach.
but have you noticed that
Bernie.
Woody is just young coach? Same punchline.
Oh, of course.
It's
I
like
mean, what are you
same-
gonna do when one of your characters dies? Get someone else to be the character, but now they're
but
hot.
younger and
Mhm.
balding. At
I mean,
17.
I gotta give it up to Woody Harrelson. Filling those shoes it seems like an impossible task, and he does
Yeah.
a great job.
Yeah,
Did
he
he-
crushed it.
and he didn't have much of a career before that, right?
He had nothing. I think it was his first audition or something.
Dude, that's incredible.
Yeah, and what a fucking arc for that dude. He's now one of our great dramatic actors.
Yeah, he's being
Several
disallowed
times
to return to a seat at Wimbledon for being too drunk.
nominated for 3 Academy Awards.
Cinema's Carnage.
Carnage. He's
Carnage, for example.
He's
is
in a movie called Rampart.
Yeah.
He's one of the 2 detectives. He
That-
was a natural born killer.
I'm gonna pass out because that nail polish.
We all caught that at the same time.
Oh,
We've
man.
had We've had a skunk approach the garage before
now we'll
too, so
never
that was
see
where
them
my
coming.
head was going.
Do you think the
Is
nail
everyone in
polish
here about to get
We're gonna
it
get
skunked?
will be a
blindsided by a
deterrent,
skunk
or
now.
it will be the opposite? It will lure the skunk. Yeah, the skunk's like, I'm ready to party. What's that? What's that special scent?
Who got into the latest Hall of Fame?
The class of
Latest class.
class of 2019 was Stevie Nicks, Janet Jackson, Radiohead, The Zombies, Def Leppard, Roxy Music, and The Cure. It's a very good class.
Yeah, you can't.
Yeah, I'm
argue
fine with all
that.
that. I don't like Def Leppard,
Sure,
but
I get that.
They do
but
have a
they're
legacy.
pretty great in the sense that they had so many like kind of perfect pop rock songs.
yeah, too compressed. It
Too,
sounds
like,
too
slick?
smooth on your ear.
Too slick.
right?
Yeah, I get. I mean, it is very produced.
Yeah,
But I think there's like a weird amount of like kind of magic going on there where it's like it's hard to deny some of this shit.
are they Sheffield or Manchester?
They're Sheffield.
They're Sheffield.
Yeah.
I tried to connect them to Oasis, but couldn't.
That's all right, man.
They're pretty much proto pulp. There you go. That's a Sheffield joke for my Sheffield heads. Okay. Well,
Yeah. I mean, also you got to give it up. Def Leppard's drummer lost his arm, and then they kept him as the drummer. That fucking rules.
the concept rules.
No, in person it rules. Their drummer does. You're watching a dude with one arm, and he's fucking drumming. That rules.
All right. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not. Impressed.
I'm not going to give it up to Def
Lot-
Leppard in any way, shape, or
A
form.
lot of drummers lose their arm.
A lot of drummers lose their arms. Some of them lose their eyes. Some of them lose their
Say it.
frontal lobes.
Yeah, man.
You know?
Wow. From the ills and
Where-
dangers of drinking. Watch out. Be smart, kids. Don't drink. Rock.
Uh,
How many viewers
and
we got?
did Fleetwood Mac get in
I hope
separate
they-
from Stevie
4.
Nicks?
They got in like 20 years ago, yeah. And
So
then
you can do that. You can
double.
You can
double-
nest it inside
yeah.
another.
Yeah,
you can
I
get
don't
in
really
twice.
think she necessarily deserved to be inducted for her solo career.
It was like, would the Heartbreakers get in with Tom Petty, or
It was
just?
Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers, yeah.
But will then Tom Petty get in outside of that?
No, I think because the distinction between those two. I also think when your name is in the band,
Yeah.
that's a more difficult thing to distinguish, you know.
So, what about Bruce and the E Street Band?
So Bruce got in without the E Street Band, and then later on they inducted the E Street Band as kind of like a whoopsie.
Yeah.
Yeah, which they did with like Buddy Holly and James Brown and Bill Haley and Hank Ballard. They didn't induct like the Famous Flames or the Crickets or the Comets.
Yeah, that's
but
an
they-
interesting.
But they
concept.
eventually did later.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
When they were like 90, it was really sad. Because they could have done it, you know, when they were not mostly dead.
was Michael Jackson in there?
Michael's in twice, yeah.
And is that going to stand?
Yeah,
Is it gonna get
they're
hacked?
not gonna.
You can't do anything about that.
And that's probably the best move is to not make a
Stink
deal
about it?
not make a scene. Just like yeah, I mean like especially if you look at the work, whatever. Also, one thing I've thought is like, all right, I don't want to listen to Michael Jackson's music anymore, but can I listen to the Jackson 5 because he was but a boy? You know,
Yeah, what stage in his
at
villain's
that
arc
point
was
he's,
he?
at that point he's innocent.
He's first act.
yeah.
That's a
Really makes you think, huh? It really bummed everybody out.
Yeah, they're just a money.
What do you
train
do with
for
a pedophile
monster.
abuser when he's a child?
everybody needs this answer. This is the baby Hitler.
Right?
Yeah, no, the culture is all about this answer. We need.
I mean, do we take the baby Hitler, philosophy of like, and you can't say it's one, or you can't say it's trauma or mental illness. Sometimes it's one, sometimes it's the other, sometimes it's both. And I am the authority when it comes to this subject. Uh-oh. I think I've been smelling too much of the nail polish. I'm starting to hallucinate.
tech problems again. Tech problems in, tech problems out.
What was the intended goal
You're
with
gonna
what
see.
just happened?
You're gonna
Okay.
see.
All right.
I think you should do it with that song this week.
With the song that was playing?
Yeah.
What song was playing?
I don't know.
It was
Oh, Steely Dan.
okay.
That's Rod Stewart's thing. I can't do
Yeah,
Steely
come on,
Dan.
man.
Okay.
Be cool.
What the fuck, man?
Well, I guess we learned a lot today.
Not the worst thing.
I guess what had happened was I wrote down too many broad topics and not enough specific ones. I think
should have prefaced you.
I think we can all walk away feeling like, you know, we're on episode 15.
1-5.
1-5. We're still using a teenager's webcam. We don't have it all figured out.
God bless you, teenager.
But what I am really proud of is it only taken 2 weeks to book Joe in my garage. He's a professional comedian. He's got a Comedy Central special coming out
On November 8th.
on November 8th.
At 11 p.m. on Comedy Central.
And it's spelled not Quazala, but it's Quazala. We're last name buddies. He won't yes and me, but he knows.
No, I agree.
He knows.
It's not spelled Quazala. It's spelled
not spelled
Quazala.
Quackzala.
It is spelled Quackzala.
It's spelled Quackzala.
but it's pronounced Quazala. KWACZALA.
And look for him later tonight
What?
on Quazala Land.
Yes.
Streaming on YouTube. Late nights after Absolutely Fabricus on YouTube.com. And that's
All she wrote.
the end of Absolutely Fabricus. I couldn't drag it out to
And
the crescendo of the
that's-
song. We have to get to the crescendo of
I
the song.
understand. Well, we can keep going back, and that's we can just keep going back and forth. That's Absolutely Fabricus.
Because it was, and we were there
and that was what they called
together
when it came down to it.
with the show.
That, my
Was-
friend, was
In essence,
going to be
not to be mistaken,
ultimately
with
Absolutely
Fabricus. Dump it. It's the end of the show.
Dump
We
it!
did it. Is it dumped? Dump it.